Okay. Hey y'all, so this is Real Talk Tina. I wanted to do a part 2 on how to become a Delta flight attendant because I was asked via email from a 16-year-old girl that's preparing to go into aviation. She wants to be a Delta flight attendant, and she read my article on Medium, how to be a Delta flight attendant, what I went through training, and now I work for another major airline, but I did get a CJO. And I attended the training a week before graduation. A lot of stuff happened in the training, and unfortunately, I didn't make it. And I'm here to guide you through all of that. Even though it wasn't the best time, best training experience with Delta, I made it through, and I feel like I'm with a wonderful company that is one of the best. I feel like it is the best with the most international locations, but I'm here to just share information for anyone, because you go through things, and your lessons are pretty much what you are sharing with others. I feel like what I went through, I can help someone else that wants to go through training with Delta, and I'm here to help them get through, even if I didn't. So I went through a very rigorous 6.5 weeks of training, and now Delta has 7 weeks of training. So I wanted to give some more tips on how to get through it. On my first video, I'll link it below, but I talked a little bit about how a 16-year-old can prepare, because at 16, you can't apply to Delta, right? But at 21, you can. But there are some things that you can do in the meantime that will help you prepare. And I named those things in my last video. So moving on, some things that I didn't mention that I feel are very important. I'm in my car right now, eating a little smoothie from McDonald's. I want you to know that if you're going to be a flight attendant, you probably will be eating out a lot, but there's ways to get around that to save money and to be healthy. If you don't like to bring your meals, there are healthy options like this, a smoothie, that you can get even at McDonald's. I'm not sponsored by McDonald's, so I'm just saying from my experience. But you do want to try to eat healthy to maintain your energy, and that's my first tip. Like, start learning how to cook now. I don't really like to cook. It's not that I don't know how, I just don't like to, but I need to learn like my specialty, and I have pretty much learned my specialty recipes to keep me healthy, to keep me going. That saves me money. For example, I'm going on, let's say, a 2-day trip or a 3-day trip. I probably won't bring food for like 3 days, but I can bring like 1 or 2 meals. So what I usually do is I love ground turkey. Beans are very healthy, and vegetables. I'll put some seasoning in it. I'll do a baked potato, and I'll throw that all together. And that's like one meal, right? Ground turkey, vegetables, beans, lots of fiber, sweet potato, give you a lot of energy. And then I pack that up. A lot of people bring yogurts. They'll bring like nuts, mixed nuts. I love like almond mix with macadamians, cashews, and things like that. So, sorry, I'm in my car and there's people parking around me and it's scaring me. Safety first. So I'm safe, y'all. So the first thing I would say is just like maybe take a cooking class, or maybe like learn some special recipes that you can pack. And then there's certain things that I do to keep the packaging cold. Like, I don't want my turkey to get warm. So I have different products. I'll link it below of the flight attendant products I use to keep my food cold, what lunchbox I use, all of that stuff I'll link below. But like, some people cook chicken, or they'll cook like a keto meal if they're low carb. So there's lots of different things that you can do. I'm working on like collecting a list of meals. I actually have a list that my one of my professors in training gave me. And it's like meals on a budget that are portable. And if you leave a comment below, I can send that to you, no problem. But I didn't mention that in the first video. I'm like, learn how to cook, learn some culinary skills. You don't have to be like a sous chef or anything, but you can learn like some basic cooking knowledge. Also, at 16, you know, most 16-year-olds don't have like a lot of responsibility financially. So this is a great time to start saving, because at Delta training, you're not making that much. You're making like minimum wage in Atlanta, Georgia, which is more than a lot of flight attendant trains pay, but it's really not as much as you would make even at like a full-time hourly job. So I would say set aside money now, because the first year of flight attendant training, woo! I just got through my first year. The first year is rough, because you're going to be moving probably. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll be living in your base already, and maybe your family will be there. You'll have a house or an apartment, or you own a house, or you have 2 incomes. That's all dandy and great. But most people, they didn't have that. Some people did, but like a lot of people that are 16, just turning 21, you know, aren't going to have 2 incomes, are not going to have like a whole bunch of money saved. And now you have the opportunity to save money because you're young, you have time on your side, you have little bills right now, probably, if any bills, so you can just prepare yourself. Like put away, if $100 a month is too much, put away $50 a month and let it grow in a high yield savings account, and let it just sit there. Open up an IRA, Roth IRA, and put some money away there, and leave your money that you want to have accessible to you in a high yield savings account. There's a few I love, and you can just Google the ones with the highest interest rate so that you can earn the most on your money. 3 to 4% is great. If you can find a high yield savings account that's 5%, get it and let it sit there. Let it sit and accumulate. And I would say also, like, me and my study buddy from training, we were like, oh my God, we were so tired. And we went on our IOE, and everyone in class was just so tired. And all we had was 1 flight. Like, I do 3 flights a day. Hopefully not, but sometimes I do 3 flights a day, but mostly I do 1 or 2 flights a day. And I remember my first flight, and I was just so tired. I didn't have the right shoes, my back was hurting, and I was just so tired. I couldn't stand up straight. I was like, oh my God. But the problem was I wasn't working on my endurance. Sorry, y'all, I'm eating. Do as I say and not as I do, okay? Eat healthy. But sometimes you're gonna need a little snack. So the reason why I was so tired was, 1, I hadn't had my endurance built up. So you don't go crazy. Like, you see some of these Instagram, you know, profiles of these workout buffs, and you see all these, you know, girlies working out 6 days, 7 days a week. Like, if that's not you, you don't need to do that. I have seen great results in myself working out with a trainer twice a week. I've seen great results. Like, I've seen my body transform just working out with a trainer twice a week. You don't even got to get a trainer. Just lift weights, even 20 minutes a day. I do like YouTube workouts, 20 minutes YouTube videos. Look it up. Like, you want to do some resistance. Girls are afraid of lifting weights, but honestly, that is what's going to keep you young. I am in my mid-40s. Nobody knows I'm in my mid-40s. I don't care about age or whatever, but people tell me over and over again, oh my gosh, I thought you were this age. I thought you were much younger. I thought you were this age. It's all nice and dandy. Like, I really don't care what people think of my age, or I don't think of age, but all I think about is health, right? because I want to feel strong. I want to have energy. I want to be able to enjoy life's best moments and be prepared for what life has to bring. Hopefully great things. But just working out 3 times a week would be okay. I don't know if you guys are going to see this for the playback, but for right now, I'm going to do a little question. Favorite way to relax? Yeah, I'm going to do favorite way to work out. And I know you guys probably won't see this on the playback, but for those of you that are live, let me know the favorite way to work out. And I'm going to post it here and it's going to disappear. All right. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so I'll leave that in there. So, favorite way to work out, let me know. If you're watching this back later and you can't see my little post-it that just popped up right now, leave it in the comments. What's your favorite way to work out? So as I was saying, if you're 16, just get used to working out 3 days a week so that when you're taking a trip, if you're busy, if you're tired, by those 5 years or whatever it is, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 5 years, you're already going to have a health routine down. So just work out 3 days a week, 20 to 30 minutes. You don't got to do nothing crazy, but that's going to keep you young and it's going to keep your mind sharp and your body sharp. It's going to help you push that cart. It's going to help you look fine in your clothes because let's face it, at Delta, you got to be cute. You gotta look good, okay? You gotta look your best. So that little 3 times a week, even for 30 minutes, it's gonna get you tight and right. Now I ain't skinny, but ain't nothing jiggling on me, right? Everything's in the right place. I go up and I go down in my weight, but my body is firm. So 3 times a week. If you like yoga, if you like walking, that's fine. Oh gosh, text message coming in. Ooh, that's weird. Oh my gosh, another text message coming in. Leave me alone. We'll get to that later. So yeah, save $100 a month, $50 a month as you can. If you can only save $25 a month, just start saving it, putting in a high yield. Work out 3 times a week. And do weight lifts. Like you can walk, you can do yoga, but make sure whatever you do resistance. On the road, I take my resistance bands with me. So you want to, or if you don't want to take resistance bands, do push-ups, do squats. You can do that with your own weight. You can do lunges. The legs are like really important because that's the energy source. I used to play basketball, y'all. I used to be an athlete. So do as I say, not as I do. So your legs are the energy force in your body, and having strong legs kind of burns the fuel for your whole body. So if you can do a leg workout 3 times a week, that will really re-energize your body and also make your mind sharper. Since it's the biggest muscle group of your body, then it's going to be the most beneficial to your entire body, and that's going to also keep you young. But the best thing to do is like a full body workout. You want to work the legs, you want to work the core, you want to work the arms, the back, the stomach. But there's no such thing as like spot training. But you will see results if you burn your leg muscles, because you'll be burning fuel throughout the day. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so you can even go to YouTube and Google 20-minute full body workout. I did that in training a lot. And 20 minutes will get you to where you need to go, 20 to 30 minutes. So those are my 2 tips right there. Let me review. Financial security, save money right now, because like I said, not a lot of 21-year-olds have 2 incomes, and maybe they don't have the money that they want, but the thing that you can do is save money for a long term, and you will have money. If you start saving at 16 and you put $5,000 in a 401k account or an IRA, and you save that, by the time you're retired, you're going to have $1 million if it's, 10% increase over the years. Even if it's not 10% increase over every year, I mean, you're going to have a lot more than if you start saving at 40. So just start saving at 16. You got 5 years. You'll be rolling in dough. That first year, you'll be able to get an apartment. You'll be able to get your own apartment. You don't have to live in a crash pad. You don't got to have a roommate. Like, you'll be rolling in dough. Save that money. I would say also, and I wrote Abigail this because I wanted her to know that any airline that you want to go to, you can go to the website of the airline. So let's say it's Delta, and look at their fleet, and they're going to have all the planes that you have to learn for Delta. And you're going to want to memorize, how many passengers are in that plane? How many doors are in that plane? How many windows are in that plane? You want to know. You don't necessarily have to remember these things, but just be familiar with the different types of planes so that if you do have a question and you're running out of time and you might not be able to look things up, you know that a 777 has this many passengers. A 777 has this many windows. A 777 has this many doors. All right, y'all? That's a... I ain't giving no information out here, but I am giving information that you need to know. No proprietary information, I should say, but I'm just giving information because your girl's been through it. I would say also, let's say, I touched on this on my last video, but like, everyone wants Delta. Everyone wants Delta. I'm going to tell a story about a guy I met at a different training, and he's like, yeah, he had some physical disabilities, and he was like just so adorable. But he told me that he went to Delta face to face and he tried to apply 8 times. And I'm like, have some dignity about yourself. Everything happens for a reason. Like, things didn't work out for Delta for me, but that wasn't my journey. I had a better opportunity with another company. But if I had just looked at Delta as the only door open when there's like a whole castle with a big door over there that was made for me, then I would be stuck, I think it's important to stand up for yourself. Yes, that's different. But I also think it's important that if they're saying no to you more than twice, more than 3 times, more than 4 times, more than 5 times, more than 6 times, more than 7 times, then you got to have another dream. There's a reason why things happen, and everything happens for a reason, and you will find out later. Trust me. Yeah, so ultimately, I would have loved to start and finish my flight career with the one I started with, Delta. But my light's going out. But there was a reason why I'm with the company I am now, and I absolutely love it. Like, more power to you if you're with Delta. I feel like my company is extremely similar. Just take off the logo and put my logo on there. You know what I'm saying? But there's a few key differences that I really appreciate. So I just wanted to put that in there. Like, there's so many people that just die and live Delta, and that's fine. But not everybody gets into Delta. Hopefully, who's ever watching this will. I hope you get into Delta. But research all your options. That's all I'm gonna say. So that third tip was just like research the fleet on the website so you know. I would say also educate yourself to the company information and the current events, good and bad, but you want to stay positive in the face-to-face interview. For example, I was at the face-to-face with Delta, and there was a guy, and he was asking, ooh, excuse me, about turbulence. Ooh, that was gross. He was asking in the face-to-face when we were just mingling about turbulence, and I was asking more positive questions, and I was saying good things about me, and I found out that he didn't make it to the end. So I would honestly, if you can take a speaking course, a public speaking course, that'd be great. Get familiar with meeting new people. I would go into social gatherings. I have a lot of like social experience. I will say this, when I was younger, and even into my 20s and even 30s, like I was really shy. Nobody would know that I'm shy now. It's because I've had so many experiences with people and I understand people. Like I went from a girl that was bullied, and I was bullied in training, and I've been bullied in school by girls and even guys, but mostly girls, and it's always been insecure girls. And I understand now as a full-blown adult in 40s, like I understand the psychology of people. The people who are and who are insecure, they're going to try to prey on someone who seems like they won't stand up for themselves. So, you know, it was a very hard environment. You're somewhat isolated from your friends and family, and things start to wear and tear on you, and you feel like you don't have a support system. And I think the hardest part of training is not only the curriculum that you learn, but also learning to be in a new group. Sometimes it's great and everyone is supportive and awesome, and everything works out and you make a bunch of friends. That wasn't my experience. I had a really mean roommate, a really mean class. Like they made up things, a really mean teacher. Like they made up things about me that were not true, and I couldn't understand why. And that was another situation where I just had to stand up for myself. Is this the right situation for me? Like, is this the right environment for me to be in? At some point, you got to make that decision, right? But whatever you do, Delta's looking for a star. So you want to make sure that you stand up for yourself in a professional way. You want to make sure that you can give a good impression from the beginning. I noticed that the training that I was in, like that I had a great experience. I was the most confident in myself. I portrayed myself as a leader. I portrayed myself as the best characteristics of myself. You don't want to go in there with low self-esteem. You don't want to go in there with a hard situation, because the truth of the matter is a lot of people have hard situations. Like not everyone's not financially sound going to training. Not everyone's in the best situation in their family, in their relationships. Everyone doesn't have all the support. But don't go into training, singing a sad story. Say the best of things, but don't brag either, because people don't like people who brag. If you're pretty, I think I'm pretty. I've been a plus size model all of my life, and some people are jealous for stupid ass reasons. Excuse my French. Oh my gosh, sorry. To all you young people out there listening to me, but people are jealous. So you don't have to be the best wardrobe. You don't gotta have the best hair. You don't have to have the best skin. You don't have to have the best resume. Don't go in there bragging, because you're gonna get jealous people, because unfortunately training does breed a kind of vulnerability, because you don't have the job yet and you're still in the job interview process when you're going to training. And sometimes students feel like, oh, okay, if she gets it, then maybe I don't have a chance. So let me try to see if I can, try to make her confidence less, or try to compete with her so that I can get the position. No, There's enough wings for everyone. Go in there being confident, not overconfident, and go in there being supportive, being helpful, being nice, being considerate. And also, it's okay not to share everything about your life. You don't got to share the bad stuff about your life. You don't got to share all the good things in your life. You have to remember that in training, these are your coworkers. Maybe you'll make a best friend. Maybe you'll have a great group, but not everyone's going to be your best friend. And at the end of the day, all of them are your coworkers. So you don't want to tell them your deepest, darkest secret, because I've had some people at Delta that I felt were great friends. They were going to be wonderful people. We were helping each other study, and then they just switched. I had to remember that these are not your friends. These are your coworkers. You don't want to say something that's going to get you in trouble. Luckily, I never had a situation where, this particular situation with a guy that was in training, he had said something that was inappropriate sexually, and he got dismissed. It wasn't necessarily all true. It wasn't necessarily all one-sided. But the fact is that he got too comfortable with who he thought was his friend, and he got dismissed. So you don't want to say anything that can be taken out of context. I was getting comfortable and I said some stuff, and I didn't mean for it to get, out of context, but people will turn against you and they'll tell on you on in-flight team, and you'll be in trouble. And you just have to watch watch your words. So that's what I'm saying. Go and join social groups, learn, work professional jobs, work in customer service, so you know how to speak, you know how to interact with people, you know what to do, you know what to say, you know how to handle yourself, you know how to be confident, you know how to walk into a room. Those skills are going to help you when you go to the Delta face-to-face. So far we said financially save. What do we say next? We said stay healthy, work out 3 times a week at least, do the strength training, and walk, whatever. I would even say invest in some good supplements. At 16, you're pretty healthy already, I presume, but that's a great time to start going to the doctors and pull your supplements to see like what supplements you lack, because a lot of flight attendants, I've been hearing like twice in 1 week that a lot of them are like have zero vitamin D. You know why? Because we're in a plane for 8 to 15 hours a day, 2 to 15 hours a day, and then we go to the hotel, and then when we get there it's dark, and then we get up early in the morning and we go on another 8 to 15 hour day, or a 2 hour day, or a 3 hour day, and then we sit in the airport for 3 hours. So ideally we're getting vitamin D from where we don't get outside. We're in a metal tube in the sky, or we're in the airport. So make sure that you are taking your supplements. Like you need vitamin D. I would recommend a prenatal vitamin for any young woman under the age of frickin' 50. Prenatal vitamin is great. And plus you need an extra vitamin D. I would recommend an extra magnesium. That magnesium controls a whole bunch of systems in your body. It controls if you feel achy, if you your mood. Magnesium helps. So your mood and your body, your inflammation in your body, magnesium controls all of that, and it can control your weight too. If you have magnesium, vitamin, and zinc and calcium, like those, and vitamin C for your health, I recommend all those supplements. I also love ashwagandha. Now check with the doctor. I'm not a doctor. Ashwagandha keeps you calm. I'm on blood thinners for a different reason. You'll have to go to my TikTok, Real Talk Tina, find out why. And so I'm not supposed to take ashwagandha, but sometimes I still do, because it's got a very calming effect. And I like L-tyrosine for your brain. It helps build neurotransmitters. This is a very lonely job. So the next tip I would say is, and this is off the cuff, guys, so I hope you're getting all these tips. I hope I'm saying all these tips to you because I want to share everything. But what I was going to say is this is a lonely job, and you have to learn how to be confident and alone by yourself and feel brave enough. Like, I went to France with my rescue dog, and we went traveling throughout Europe for a year. You know, I went to Europe by myself as well without my dog, but it was solo. A dog is still solo. And I go to movies by myself. I go to restaurants by myself. Of course, it's great to have friends there too. I have friends that I chill with, that I go visit. But a lot of my life has been online. Like, I have a lot of online friends, and I have a lot of friends I just meet on the line that I work with them, and we become friends. A lot of flight attendant friends. But I'm okay with going out to dinner by myself in LA. I'm okay going to walk the streets in Vancouver. And I would say practice now, holding yourself, being able to travel, figuring out how to, go to your gate in the airport, figuring out how to travel alone. If you travel alone, there's some of these trips that I come off. I work with a crew, and then they go to a different flight. That person goes to a different flight, and I'm going on a layover by myself. So I gotta get to the van by myself. I gotta get to the hotel by myself. I gotta get back to KCM, which is the flight attendant security, known crew members security. I gotta get back to that KCM security myself. And you have to figure out, okay, if you got no one there, where are you going? You got to figure out, like, on a layover, how to be fulfilled by yourself without always having people there. For me, I love being alone. I enjoy my own company thoroughly. And it almost takes so much for me to want to hang out with a person. And I will flat out say, like, hey, I don't feel like going out to dinner today with you. I'll say it in a nice way, but sometimes I just enjoy my own company. And if the vibe ain't there with them, I'm not going to force myself to, like, go out with someone, because I actually have a great time by myself. And I welcome people, and I enjoy people, and I enjoy company, but I also enjoy being by myself as well. So just prepare for that. At 16, I've been solo traveling. I've been living by myself. It's almost a harder adjustment to get used to living with other people. You still got to know how to do all that stuff. But if you save your money, then you won't have to live with anyone else. And that would be my tip for that, because I've had to live with people, and it's probably been one of the hardest things, I would say, of the job. Learning how to have a roommate again, sharing your space with someone that isn't respectful, with someone that isn't considerate, with someone that isn't clean, with someone that isn't nice, with someone that tries to sabotage your success. Like, how can you get away with a roommate? Sorry guys, my hand is getting tired. Ooh. But if you can save money in advance, then you don't got to deal with all that toxic energy with a roommate, or 10 roommates, or 20 roommates in a crash pad that you don't want to deal with. So I would say, learn how to get out by yourself. And the reason I say that is because I ran into a flight attendant, and she was like 50, 60 years old. And she was like, I never go out of the hotel room by myself. And I'll bring my workout clothes, and I'll just work out at the gym. And if my husband comes with me, that's the only time I'll go out. And I'll just bring my own food. And I'm a slam clicker. A slam clicker is a flight attendant that just closes the door and never comes out. I find that to be a sad existence. I find that to be miserable, because that's like saying, oh, I got into a relationship that didn't work out, so I'm just gonna spend the rest of my life alone. Not knocking anybody who's single, but you gotta try. You can't let your highs get you too high in life, and you can't let your lows get you too lows. So this flight attendant was talking about one flight attendant that was unfortunately got mixed up and killed. She was stabbed to death in Denver, and that's very sad. But and I'm very saddened by that, actually. But she had been a flight attendant for a while, and she had probably gone on how many layovers and had how many memories. Just think if she never came out, and that one time she came out, she got murdered. Like, you can't like live your life like, I'm just gonna stay in the bed all day, or I'm just gonna stay away from guys because I got my heart broken. No, you live life, you get your heart broken, you get up. Life is measured at how you handle life circumstances. They're not gonna stop happening, but it's how you handle it. And you can't hide from life. You can't hide from something that may happen. You could die in an earthquake in your bed. Those people in Florida, the whole building shook. This is getting dark, but they're dead, you know? They were in their bed. So you can't, it's not funny, but you guys can't live your life like that. Like, you have to get out and enjoy your life. Get out on your layovers. You know, that's why you're working out. That's why you're taking your supplements. That's why if you have a prayer life, I would suggest get really strong in whatever faith you have. I'm not saying that you have to have my faith. Whatever you believe in, you know, something that you can have faith. If it's just meditation and you don't necessarily have a faith, you know, do meditation. I meditate, I pray to God. That's the things that ground me. The world may be hectic sometimes, but I never let my fears get too much in the way of living life. I'm gonna go out. Yes, I may die some way. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die anyways, but I'm gonna have fun in my life. A young TikTok star, he died of a car accident. You know, is it like, did he know he was gonna die that day? Absolutely not. But he could have said, I'm never gonna drive again. I might get in a car accident. But no, like, he has living a full life, and we're all gonna have a time to go. I don't let planes scare me. I don't let driving scare me. I don't let going out at night scare me. I'm safe. Just be situational aware. Be aware of your surroundings, protect yourself. Go out in the daytime, you know, go out in safe areas, buddy up with another flight attendant. But I'm giving these tips because you're gonna have to prepare and keeping yourself safe. You're gonna have to prepare socially. You're gonna have to prepare to be well-rounded. You have to prepare to be grounded in a spiritual practice to keep you out of depression. Because the reason I'm talking about this is because there is, unfortunately, a situation where flight attendants are, you know, committing suicide because they're so lonely. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let the depression sink so deep. Like, prepare yourself for life. Think positive. Start writing down 5 days, 5 times. Sorry. So write down 5 things per day that are new that you're grateful for, and that you will start building new neural pathways in your brain that says that you're grateful. And then that will keep the depression away. I had an adrenal thing where adrenals, if you don't know, no one knows what they are. Like, what's an adrenal, right? It's almost like the second thyroid in your body. It controls your mood, it controls your temperature, it controls your heart rate, your blood pressure. It controls a lot in your body. Did I say weight? Yes. It can make you irritable. It can make you all these things. And I was depressed. I didn't realize that I had a growth on my left adrenal that was causing havoc in my body. And I thought I was depressed. And I would do like things like think about positive things I was grateful for. Like I said, 5 things a day, different every single day. So I'd be like, oh my gosh, I had this amazing smoothie. Today it was so good. I'm so happy that I found this cool fan to keep me cool in the plane. This is so amazing. It works so well. I'm so grateful for this. It has like 100 settings. Look at that. It's so cool. I'm just so grateful for the wonderful talk I had with my best friend. You know, things like that. Like that's 3 right there. And tomorrow I'm gonna have like 5 more things. I'm saying these practices because you can start now. Don't start when you're depressed. Start now building good pathways in your brain so that you can automatically think about things positively. Like I'm so grateful that I have a chance to go to Vancouver. I can go to North Dakota, Fargo. I can go to France. I can go to Mexico. I have this amazing job where I get to stay in nice hotels and travel the world. But if you're thinking about like, oh my gosh, I have no one to be with, I'm alone in the hotel, like food is so expensive, I have to work so hard, then you're gonna have like a bad time. You're gonna be depressed, you know? But yeah, so just make sure that you check your vitals, because with that adrenal thing that I mentioned, I didn't know what was wrong with me. So go to the doctors and see if your vitamin D is low. Go to the doctors and see if your adrenals are healthy. Go to the doctors, and if you need to take antidepressants. Some people just have a low chemicals in their brain that don't make them naturally happy. If you have to get an antidepressant, do it. Like, take care of yourself and learn now before you get in like a crisis what you need to do. So I know at 16 this is a lot. Like, oh my gosh, why is she talking about this? But at 16, you are in a great place. And if you're older or younger and you want to be a flight attendant, you want to work for Delta, they're looking for a star. They want someone that's healthy. They want someone that's happy. They want someone who's smart. They want someone who's worldly. And these things will keep you as the top runner to be a Delta flight attendant. And grooming too. I want to just touch on this before I go because I've been talking for 42 minutes. You want to make sure that you have, you know, your hands well kept. You don't have to have a lot of money for these things. Like, I'll link this below, but these are press-on nails. These cost like less than $10 to put press-on nails, but they look very nice. I did my own hair this time, but sometimes I'll go get my hair done, or if I don't have a lot of money, I'll go get my ends clipped. I'll go get a heat moisturizing treatment at the beauty school, and my hair will look beautiful, but it only cost me like $20 to $30. And that makes me feel good to have someone like touching my hair as a single person, to have someone, you know, massaging you. Touch is very, it releases endorphins. So if you're sad or anything, having someone touch your hair as a single person will be wonderful for you. The difference in having a professional do it, even if it's a beauty school student, do it, your hair is going to look a lot better for the face-to-face. So just practice like having your look about you, have it professional. Don't get any tattoos from 16 before your interview. Like, just leave the tattoos alone. You know, the rules are opening up now that maybe you can have some tattoos, but like, you don't want to skirt the line. Like, just don't get tattooed. I don't have any tattoos. Get tattoos if you want to, whatever, on your hidden parts of your body if you want. But I mean, don't risk it to get it on your arm or your hands or anything. I think the rules have changed at Delta, but you just don't want to risk it. They might change it back. Don't get anything offensive. You know, that goes without saying. But yeah, so if you learn to have a lot of social interactions and you travel, get your social skills up, and you get your look together, you know, have light jewelry, have good plain makeup that's natural looking. You don't want crazy eyelashes going into a Delta face-to-face. They're going to be like, what? She don't belong, you know? So unfortunately, first impressions are real. Perception is real. So if you're gonna look like you're out of place, then they're not gonna go for you. So just make sure that you have a great look about you, and that you look natural, you look beautiful, you have a good sense of style. I also will link below like what I think you should wear for a face-to-face Delta interview. I have some suits some things that I've curated on my Amazon page that will let you know exactly how you should look. If you have questions, you can contact me directly. I also have some digital content that I will link below that has my top tips for you to get a face-to-face interview in a CJO from a major airline. You can click and download all my content. You can ask me any questions here, and this will help you. I hope this has helped you. And if you have any questions, you can answer or ask them below. And I wish you the best of luck. I think everyone should be happy. I think overall this is a great job. It's not an easy job, but I do love it. I love the people. I love some of the other flight attendants, if not all of them. Even the ones I don't enjoy working with again, I still love them. And we definitely look out for each other. It's been such a great journey and an unexpected one. So even if you're 16 or older, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still do this career. And I'm happy to help and guide you since I've been through this. And now I'm in a year in, and I've been through training with 2 major airlines and 2 regionals. I've gotten at least 6 CJOs. So I have a little bit of information about almost every airline that you would want to work for. So follow me here, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bisous.